In this video, we're going to be implementing our trivia game with a loop. So this is the trivia game we created in the previous module, and we will do so more efficiently with a loop. So we're going to open that up, copy the code, and then create a new file in the current module called trivialoop.py. Okay, so let's go ahead and move over to VS Code. We can close out of this craps program and then open up module 8. And here is my solution. Yours will just be under trivia.py. You can copy my solution if you want for this example. And so I'm going to copy the code. And then what I'm going to do is click back over here on module 9. So make sure it's highlighted. And then I'm going to click the new file and just say trivia_loop.py like this, and paste all of that code over here, and I can save it so I have the exact same file right over here. So let's cover the code one more time. So we begin by defining the score, which will be 0, a list to contain the missed questions, and a welcome message as a string. Then we define the questions and answers as strings. And finally, we begin the game. So we print out the welcome message, and then is where we have the repetitive part. So each question and answer looks the same. So we print out the question number. We get the user input. So we ask our question, get the user input. We lowercase the user input and check it against the answer. So if it is correct, we increase the score by 10. And then we print out a message saying that they're correct. If it's wrong, then we append the question number to the missed questions list, and we inform the person that they have answered the question incorrectly. Okay, so that same exact set of code is used for all 5 questions. So when you repeat code over and over again, this is a sign that you can use a loop. In this case, we will use a for loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of the questions between 2 and 5 like this. And I'm going to repeat this for every question. So I'm just going to show one way on how to do this with the current knowledge. There's actually a little bit better way that we will learn in the future. But for now, I'm going to show you this way. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a list of all of the questions. So I'm going to put all the questions in a list like this. So I'm just going to take each one of those strings and put them in a list. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the answers. Like this. So I place them in a list. So this is a list of strings. That's all I've done here. And then I'm going to get the total length of the questions using the len function. So I'm going to pass it in that list. So n will be an integer. And now I'm going to loop through all of these questions, or all the integers, using a for loop. So I'm going to go through one by one. This is a perfect situation for a for loop. So I'm going to say for I in range n. And then I'm going to repeat this over and over again. So if I leave it like this, it's going to answer it's going to ask the same question over and over again. It's going to do n iterations. It's going to begin at 0 and go to n minus 1. So if I look in here, anytime I have something that references a specific question number, I need to replace. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, even for this print, I'm going to say question I. Now it's not going to be exactly I, it's going to be I plus 1, because Python begins its count at 0, whereas we begin our count at 1. I need to make this an F string. So now it'll just print in whatever question number it is. Okay, now the input is not going to be Q1, it's going to be question I. So I'm going to use, it's a list, and I say questions, and then brackets. So that's how you select an item from a list, like this with the brackets and then I. Now, it's not going to be answer 1. It's going to be answers I. So it's going to get whatever is the current answer, like this, and it'll check against whatever the user has given as our answer. Okay, so score, that looks good, that looks good. We need to not append 1, but I plus 1. So again, this will be just the question number, not the Python index, which begins at 0. So we will just add 1 to that. Okay, so that's all you have to do in order to transform this. So again, this is the old code. Let's go back to the old solution over here, where we just manually repeated each one, the same thing, by just putting in 2, question 2, answer 2, append 2, question 3, 3, 3, 3, append 3, and so forth. Let me just save this file. So now this should work. The only things that we had to do, let's just show again what we had to do. We created a list of questions. So this is a list of strings, a list of answers. We set n to be the length of the question. This will be an integer. In our case, it'll be 5. Then we're going to use a for loop to go through each integer, 0 to n minus 1, so 0 to 4 in our case. It's going to print out the question number. We have to add 1 to it because Python loops begin at 0. We're going to get the current question using the brackets to make that selection, and I, which is the current index. Same thing for the answers, and then we just have to add 1 again for the missed questions if there is a missed question. All right, so let's go ahead and play this game. We're going to say trivia loop.py. Okay, good. So here's question 1. Looks like it's done this correctly. And let's see if we get that right. Correct. Your score is now 10. Here's question 2. Great. So it went on to question 2, and it gave the second question. So let's do this one incorrectly. Okay, incorrect. Your score is 10. We'll say the wrong one here, north. We'll get this one right, Beijing. Let's get this one right, hydrogen. All right, great. And let's see if it got the right question over here. Oh, okay, so I do have a bug in my code. No, this is not in a string, so I don't need quotation marks. I just need to get the number I plus 1. Okay, so that will fix it like that. So I'm glad I ran it. I was not appending strings. I'm just appending the number I plus 1. So this is an integer. That was a mistake. Let me save that. All right, so this is our final code on transforming the old trivia game into one with loops. And like I mentioned, there's actually an even swifter way of doing this, but using the knowledge that we have right now and just adding looping, this is one good solution for now.